Welcome to Fantasy Football Hub. I'm joined today by Abdul, aka FPL Salah, and he's having a much better game week than me. Abdul, it's all going to plan.
Yeah, it's finally having a good game weeks, but 57 points, which is a nice clean arrow, but first half of my triple captain hasn't gone well. Obviously, Haaland blanking against United. Didn't mind that too much because I'm a United supporter, but I'm hoping for at least a hat trick against Spurs.
At least. It's kind of at that
At
stage,
least.
you've took a wee -4 there. A lot of people took big hits. I've
Mm,
seen -8s, -12s even.
yeah.
And a lot of this is resting on, these double game week players doing something.
Yeah, and I think obviously the main players, I think Rashford, Fernandez are the ones who returned. It's obviously say it's underwhelming, but yeah, it's going to be obviously the next two games, Palace United and City Spurs is going to be huge. I think obviously Kane owners, he blanked in the first game as well, so it's currently quite a low scoring double game week, but obviously that can all change in the next few days.
Yeah, it can change very quickly.
Mm,
Haaland needs to do well against Spurs for me as well. I've got the triple captain
yeah.
on him. Unfortunately, I've only got 42 points so far. I
Mm,
think the big difference was I didn't have Kappa, which kind of breaks my heart. And you obviously
yeah,
played White,
Kepa,
which was
Kepa
which
saved me this
was
week.
which was smart. I brought in Ake and Kane for Darwin and Reece James, but Bueno and White in the bench are kind of heartbreaking. Haaland triple captain, something needs to happen. Kane letting
Yes.
us down. Tough game against Man City now, and one of those that even though we have a lot of double game week players here, Kane is up against Ake, so one of them's probably going to disappoint me. But
Mm.
42 points, triple captain played, no hits. Hoping I can still just about salvage a green, a nice green arrow. But we have a few talking points, and then we're going to look at your plans for your upcoming game week, if you're going to make transfers, if you're not, and why. There's loads to talk about. In no particular order, let's pick something. Ivan Toney, a lot of people talking about him. Man on fire, can't stop
Yeah.
scoring, doing his thing, but ban imminent or not, no one really knows. What's your thoughts here in terms of an FPL asset in Ivan Toney?
Yeah, I mean he's got 13 goals and 3 assists already this season, John. He's already, surpassed last season's 12 goals, so he's absolutely on fire. And judging by, he's the third highest scoring forward in the game at only 7.5, but he's only like, 20 odd percent owned. I think that's kind of mostly down to, other assets like Darwin and Kane, kind of being more popular and Mitrovic, being at his price. So he has gone a little bit underlooked, judging by his actual returns. And I think lately, obviously, with the kind of the betting scandal, people are kind of being put off because he could potentially get banned at any time. But I think from the latest Sky Sports article I read, they were saying that a ban doesn't look imminent. Not anytime soon. At least not until February is going to be his hearing. So I think it's pretty safe to bring him in. But at the same time, it was tough for me this week because I did think about Tony, but I just couldn't justify getting him in over Kane when I had the money for Kane, who's got a double game week. So, but yeah, I mean, for those who have got him, they've been absolutely raking in the points, and I wouldn't let, kind of going forward. He's got good fixtures. If you look at his fixtures coming up, good games, and I wouldn't let the kind of betting scandal put you off getting him in if you want him.
Mm. Next up, Brighton assets. There's some really good assets there, Matoma, March, and others. Who would you be going for, if anyone? And are there any considerations in the upcoming game weeks with blanks or doubles with them?
hmm I mean, you can just take your pick with the Brighton assets. You've got Solly March, Evan Ferguson, 4.5 million forward. He's got two goals and one assist in the last three games. Matoma, and even Alexis McAllister. The manager Desarbi has been talking about playing him further up the field, and he's also on penalties as well. So I mean, they're all like around about 5 to 5 point. Matoma's 4.9 million, Evan 4.5, and then Solly March is at 5. I think McAllister is the most expensive at 5.2. That's absolute bargain prices. And it's not going to be long before I've got a few of them in my team. However, I do think this isn't the week to bring them in because they have got a confirmed blank coming up before they have the double game week, and also from after game week 21, as we know, we've got an FA Cup break. Which will determine a lot of the doubles that are coming up and the blank game week in 25. So to kind of judge on that, I would be looking to, save a transfer going into that and also just hold off on the Brighton assets just now. Of course, it's all team dependent. I mean, if you look at your team at the moment, and you've got, quite a good set of players who've got a confirmed fixture in 25, and you can maybe afford to bring them in, then, not many people will be in that position. But I think generally, I would advise to hold off on the Brighton assets just at the moment.
I didn't realise just how much Solly March was smashing it. Three
Yeah,
double-digit holes in the last four. 19-pointer against Liverpool, and they actually have some nice fixtures. Again, you mentioned the blanks and doubles there that aren't
yeah.
populated on the FPL site yet, but like
Mm-hmm.
Leicester, Bournemouth, Palace, Fulham, Newcastle's tough, West Ham, Leeds, like the next 7 games, 6 of them are great. So yeah, it's
Yeah, I
very
mean, for
hard to look the
attacking
other way.
returns, I mean, the Zabi's got them kind of clicking it in the gear, got them playing, I think, how he's wanting, you know, to have them playing really, really kind of on the front foot, attacking. And if you look at Solly March's heat map, I checked his heat map in the last game against Liverpool, and he was like the most, the furthest advanced player, like, pretty much, a similar kind of heat map to Mo Salah, really. So I mean, his returns aren't a fluke. It's not one of those where he's, just managed to kind of, he's not, I don't think he's a flash in the pan. His stats are backing up his output as well.
What I wanted to say to you about what did I want to say to you about Brighton? Yes, it was about the fact that the blank and double common. If people want to check that out, you can check Ben Crellin's planner on Fantasy Football Hub. Use the link
Yeah.
below. Go and have a look. Arsenal, we need 3 of them. I think that's kind of just a statement.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a question. We kind of,
Yeah,
I think optimal to
definitely.
get 3. Which 3 and when?
Yeah, I mean, they seem like this year's City, don't they? They just don't look like losing. But like, I mean, again, it's team dependent. I think a lot of people will have a defender already, so I think for me, like, I think Saka and Odegaard are the best two midfielders. Odegaard's actually got the best stats if you look at his XGI, like expected goal involvement. He's got the highest chances created in XA. And he's not got as good a goal threat as Saka, and then Saka's on penalties. But obviously, look at Odegaard's price, only 6.8 million compared to Saka's 8. So if you look at taking all that consideration, they're definitely the best two options. I think if you're going for a defender, my preferred option is Ben White, just simply because he's only 4.7 million, compared to Gabriel, who's 5.3, and Saliba is 5.4. Of course, Gabriel's got the goal threat. But I think that saving kind of justifies going White over Gabriel. And I even think, if you've not got a defender yet, I would not be, against going triple Arsenal attack, getting Nketiah in as your second or third forward. He's a great option. Gabriel Jesus is going to be out a while right now, so he's nailed. And he's his stats are there. His minutes are there. There's not much not to like.
Is triple mid madness? Because obviously you have to fit other people in. Then we've got our Rashfords and our
Yeah,
premiums.
I think on that basis, because we've got so many good midfielders, I wouldn't go triple midfield. We've just got so many midfield options this season, so probably hard to fit in, the triple midfielders. But I would, if you're going for a triple attack, for me, it's going to be probably Saka, Odegaard, and Nketiah. I mean, again, if you want to go Martinelli instead of Saka, due to funds, totally fine. He's still a fine option. Especially, a lot of people like myself would have got Martinelli at his kind of rock bottom price of 6 million. So in a way, I'm kind of stuck with him, but he's not a bad asset to be stuck with. So I'll probably be going Martinelli, and Saka. My next kind of transfer will be Saka or Odegaard, and I've already got White. So yeah, I mean, there's not really kind of a wrong option, a wrong answer for the Arsenal trios.
To get the Arsenal trio, one of those Arsenal trios in, there's always got to be a fall guy. And one name who's been brought up a lot this week is Almiron.
Yeah.
Set the whole league on fire and can maybe cooled off a little bit. In and around that price we need to be, he need him to be to bring in an Odegaard, for example. A lot of us
Yeah.
have a lot of money floating around at the minute, thankfully. Almiron, talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all knew that he wasn't going to keep up that same level of output. I still think he's a good option at his price. However, as you just mentioned there, John, I think a lot of us are going to have money in the bank just the way the kind of injuries are falling, and how the teams are set up. So I mean, I think a lot of us will have money in the bank. So Almiron to an Arsenal midfielder is going to be a very popular option. This week and then in the next few weeks, because Arsenal have got a double game week in 23 as well. So yeah, I think again, great option at his price, but you can upgrade to, Odegaard's only what 0.8 million more than him now, which of course Odegaard kind of wins hands down. So yeah, I think he's had three shots in the box, or so, yeah, three shots in the box he's had, since game week 17, since the kind of restart. So yeah, he's again, I don't think he's a bad option. His minutes are there as well. He's getting plenty of minutes, but I just think there's better options now there. Looking at the fixtures coming up and the doubles.
A lot of people will be making that transfer this week. They'll be going
Yeah.
Almiron, Odegaard. There'll be a million other transfers made, obviously. Just talking transfer strategy. Is there much to be said this week for maybe holding off if you can afford to going into game week 21?
Yeah, I think so, John, because as I kind of mentioned earlier, there's going to be the FA Cup break after game week 21, which is going to, determine a lot of the blanks and doubles coming up. So it's going to be, very advantageous to go in with two free transfers going to game week 22, because as you said, we'll know, the game week 25 blanks firstly, so we know which players, which teams we can avoid, which players we can avoid, and which kind of players to target. So definitely, I mean, if you can hold on again, I mean, if you've got a suboptimal team and you need to make the transfer, then yeah, fair enough. But I think if you can, if you've got a choice of of holding off or a transfer, then it's probably best just to save that transfer this week.
If you were bringing in a goalkeeper, who would you bring in? That's a curveball question for you.
Oh,
It's maybe a bit selfish because I'm looking there and getting sick of Ward. I'm like, who would you bring in, lad? But I've seen a few people bringing in Ederson, and I'm just looking at that. I don't know about it.
I was going to say that because I think he's probably. I mean, the thing is, the City defenders right now are looking, none of them are nailed at the moment. Cancelo's not nailed anymore. Stones has just been injured. Ake, Akanji, and Laporte are going to kind of be interchanging, and Diaz, we saw today as well. He's back fit in training as well. So none of the defenders are nailed, and then Edison's only nailed kind of defensive option, and he's got a double in game week 23. So yeah, I think for me, he'd probably be the one, and I'd probably look at maybe Kepa as well, because Kepa's got a confirmed fixture in game week 25 when they blank as well. So, and I'm sure he's got a fixture in 28 also when it's a blank. So I'd probably be looking at them too. Although this week isn't a good week to bring in Kepa, obviously, playing Liverpool.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're probably my top two options.
Yeah, because I look at Ederson, he's only got one clean sheet in the last 6, and it's not like he's getting save points. So I kind of look at him and I'm like, don't know about this one. And I know it is Man City, and they can turn it around at any stage, but just the amount of change in that back line, it's very hard to have any sort of consistent returns. And then Kepa, the Liverpool fixture makes it hard to justify bringing him in.
Yeah.
But then you've got Fulham, West Ham, Southampton, which is a nice run. So
I think you can also look at De Gea as well, because it's not been confirmed yet, but the kind of rumours are going about on social media that United are going to have a double game week in 22 against Leeds and Crystal Palace, and both those games will be at home. So and then honestly, United have really improved at the back. I mean, if you look at their kind of defensive stats now over the season, they're like conceded 21 goals, which is the fourth least in the league, and then they've got an XG. They've got like the sixth best XG, but then if you take that over the whole season, the first like 5-6 games were terrible. I think they conceded 7 goals in the first two games. In the last kind of like 10 games have been much better. So I really like the United defense, and De Gea's not a bad option either.
Amazing. Well, look, let's look at your team and what you're thinking of doing this week. I've pulled your team up on the My Team tool on Fantasy Football Hub. What are you thinking? I know it's early in the week, but
yeah,
and if people want to see your final team reveal, they'll need to be on Hub, where they can check you out on socials. Your handle's just below your head at FPL_Salah. But at the minute, what's the logic? Roll the transfer. Who you bringing in? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of what I touched on earlier. I think I'll be rolling the transfer. I mean, I haven't got the best team this week, John. I've got Shaw and White there playing each other.
Kepa. Or would you play?
I mean, I don't mind. Sorry.
Would you play Ward over Kepa?
Well, that's another question as well. At the moment, I've got Ward in goal, but I might honestly end up with going Kepa, because Brighton are looking fantastic. Even though it's a home fixture for Leicester, and the Chelsea game is quite unpredictable. you know, I'd probably expect Kepa to make more saves in that game. I think that's the kind of reason why I'm going. I'm kind of leaning Kepa over Ward. I don't think any of them will keep a clean sheet. So just based on the fact that I think Kepa will probably get more saves, I'll probably go with him instead. Yes, and then the defense is looking very good. I don't mind playing White, but I do think Shaw is United. There's no chance United keep a clean sheet in that game. But at the same time. And I've got Almiron there as well with 1 million in the bank, so he can easily become Odegaard. And I've got exact cash for that. But again, United at home, it's not a hard fixture for Arsenal at the moment, but it is. I mean, it's a difficult fixture, comparatively if you look at the league. I mean, the only tougher fixture right now is Man City, so probably not a good week to bring Odegaard in. I think I can probably hold off on that transfer, until next week. So at the moment, it looks like I'll be saving a transfer, just because of the information that'll be valuable, after game week 21. So, but I am still tempted to do Almiron to Odegaard, but we'll see.
I'm going to ask you a proper wild card question. Proper mad, I can't say the bad word stuff. And then we'll wrap up. Do like the video before you go, guys, and do subscribe to Fantasy Football Hub for more. You can find us both at the @ below our heads. Abdul, is Kieran Trippier a legitimate captaincy option? I'm not saying it happened, but if I look at his last scores all the way back to game week 14, this is all the way back to game week 14. 11, 12, 7, 12, 8, 8, 9. They have how many clean sheets in a row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clean sheets in a row in the league. Yeah. They conceded against Tottenham, and then they had another 2 clean sheets against Everton and United all the way back in 12 and 11. They've only not kept a clean sheet once since game week 11. And he always has the outside chance of the assist. He's the best player for bonus points.
Yeah.
He's up against, is it Crystal Palace this week?
Yep.
At what stage is it he's legit? Crystal Palace, West Ham, Bournemouth next 3. Captaincy? Kieran Trippier? That's a left field question no one's asking or caring about at the minute. It just came to my head.
I mean, I wouldn't captain him just because we've got Haaland there and we've got Salah, for example, and Kane. But I mean, if you, I mean, the thing with Trippier is that he has been returning fantastically, but there's been a bit of variance here as well because he got taken off 3 times with a clean sheet, and then Newcastle conceded thereafter. So there's that as well. But yeah, he's just, Newcastle looking a different beast, this season. To answer your question, I probably wouldn't captain him still. I just don't think, it's justifiable over, the other options that we have. But, it looks like, if you captain them, the last 10 game weeks, you'd be flying. But yeah, I don't think we can look at, past results too much. I think, as good as he's been, as good as the scores have been, it will kind of even out over the next few weeks, over the next 10 game weeks.
He's the top goal scorer by a wee bit, or not goal scorer. He's the top point scorer over the since game week 11, and even since the restart in 17, he's only second to March. So it's I don't know. I look at it, and it's I think captain defenders is one of those things that's so hard. In the past, we might have done it with Trent a few times. But I'm kind of looking at Trippier and I'm like, it's been half a season of this now. The man's not slowing down, and it's he's the best bonus point player, 7 clean sheets in a row or whatever it is, assists potential everywhere, free kick goal potential. I don't know. I just look at it and I'm like, I might do it someday for the crack.
But would you be comfortable? For example, this week Haaland and City have got Wolves. Would you be brave enough to captain Trippier?
It's a fear factor, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, it's a psychological barrier because it's you're just thinking. City at home to Wolves, and then Trippier away at Palace. He'll probably still end up. I mean, I think he's outscored Haaland since the restart. Or I've seen a stat somewhere. He in the last 5 or 6 game weeks, he's outscored Haaland by about 25 or 30 points, which is insane. But as I said, I think past points don't always correlate to future points, and there has been a fair bit of luck in Trippier's returns. He has. I'm not saying he's not been a great option. He has been a fantastic option. At the moment, he's on 133 points, which is the most a defender's been at this stage. I think Robertson was the one who finished on, I think, the highest ever points a defender has finished on, and he's currently on to break that record. So yeah, let's see. But me personally, I don't think I'm brave enough.
Okay, I don't think I am either, but I just thought it was fun. All right, look, thanks everyone for watching. Like and subscribe before you go. You can find us on socials at the handle below. That rhymed. Or did I just say below twice? I can't remember. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.